There's no charge. It's free. I just keep it as a free membership, very similar to a Facebook group. I think better though. I really like the school platform. What do y'all think of school? I mean, plenty of people I've been talking to says that, it's their first time using school. Other people have said they've been in other people's communities on school. I've been on school for, gosh, probably close to 2 years now because I've been in other people's communities and I love the platform. Do y'all have any thoughts on the platform?
I'm new to it through your group, but I find it very easy to use and pretty intuitive. So if I'm like, where do I post this? It's like, here are your options because you've set it up that way. So I think it's pretty easy so far and helpful. Like I told you a couple weeks ago, I was looking, I couldn't find the name of that slide presentation AI that you shared with us. So I went in there and just typed in slide AI and MAGA, or not MAGA, sorry, Gamma came up. And so I've been using it with client accounts by just pasting in the URL and then asking it to make either a PDF or social media cards that I can then share as a video, for example, on Instagram or TikTok. So I think it's a great tool as a small business person.
Yeah, that Gamma tool is so cool. But what you did was so smart. We've talked about it over on the social media and AI shortcuts discussions over on school. And what I love about school is at the top of the page is a search box and you can just do a keyword search. So you type in Gamma and there it is. And you can see like the whole discussion we had about it. That's one of the things I love about that platform. It's so easy to use and just like my friend Venus from Kratom Butterfly, she says it's so easy to navigate.
Yes, I agree.
That's what really drew me to it. So
yeah, I downloaded the app onto my phone, and
it's
cool. So nice because I just
love the app.
A little red dot, and I'm like, oh, somebody new's posted something. I pop on over, and I'm able to kind of keep up with the posts. I love it.
Yeah. So you can use it on desktop, or they have an iOS and an Android app, and I love the app. It works so well. So yeah, it's a great platform. So I'm really thrilled to have y'all there, and we're just slowly growing it. I really need to talk about it more and promote it more so more people get on there. But it's just been a nice way to just continue these discussions. Like Barb had recently mentioned that a book she was reading, that new one. I'm blanking on the name, the one with the former Facebook employee, Careless People, A Cautionary Tale of Power, Greed, and Lost Idealism. And I had been hearing about it, but Barb had done a post on there talking about it more. And it really piqued my interest. And then I finally, over this past weekend, got it on Audible. And it is really an interesting book to hear from somebody that used to be at Meta, that worked very closely with Mark Zuckerberg and other top people, and just to hear some of these stories is pretty wild. So, but that was just something through that discussion, Barb, that you brought up over there. It made me even more interested in learning more about all of that, and ultimately me purchasing the book. So.
Thank you. The thing, if you put this group back on the screen, you'll see that someone else contributed that article this morning about what Zuckerberg is doing wrong.
The post from Annalisa.
Yeah, the Gen X and that. I caught that on your group this morning, and I took a deep dive into that. And I actually, like we all know, many of us do, is I turned to ChatGPT first and I asked for an opinion. It was hilarious. But then this morning, Mark actually announced that we're going back to OG. We now have your friends feed is just going to be your friends.
Interesting. Well, I haven't had time to read this article because
that was a mind blower.
I saw this popped up this morning, but I've just been too busy and didn't have a chance, but I'm definitely going to read it later. But this is what makes our community so powerful, is that we can have these discussions and be connected with each other. And I love that. I love that about our community. So, but thank you all for sharing about this. I got a variety of news I want to cover. And the first thing I want to talk about is this thing with Grok that I did not know about until I stumbled upon a post from one of my friends, one of my ex-friends. So weird to say, like, one of my old Twitter friends. Why was he like that? Back on old Twitter days, my friend Janet Machuca, who's been running a Twitter chat out of Africa for a long, long time. Anyway, she did this post yesterday, and it says, "Let me try to befriend Grok for some love." And it says, "Hey, at Grok, based on my post, which public figure, past or present, do I sound like? Go for it." And I'm like, I don't recall seeing, I know you can do the at Grok in a post. Hey, Jim, good to see you. Glad you're here in the comments. I know that you can do that and ask it things, but I've never seen a post like this where somebody is asking a specific question like this. So immediately it piqued my interest. I'm like, okay, I got to go look into this. So then, so here's what happened. I see that. So I come in and I say, wow, this is cool. I'm going to try it. And so then here's what happens. Grok responds. So I haven't even done the post on my own profile yet. I'm responding to hers. At Grok is part of the conversation. And so Grok says, Madalyn Sklar, a social media influencer, is excited to try Grok's analysis after it compared Janet Machuca to Chris Brogan. So it compared Janet to Chris Brogan. It was really cool. She likely asked Grok to analyze her ex post, given her focus on Twitter, marketing, and AI. She might be compared to Mari Smith or Marsha Collier, known for social media expertise, aligning with her 30-year career and recent AI interests. So, of course, that's my response to that. I was like, oh my God. It like immediately replied with that. So I'm like, okay, this is really interesting. So of course now I got to go post this on my profile. I got to go see what the heck is going on here. So we'll come over to my post. So I did the same thing Janet did. I say, hey, Grok, based on my post, which public figure, past or present, do I sound like? Has anybody here tried this yet? Have any of y'all tried this or heard about it? I see it yesterday for the first time, so I'm thinking this must be brand new. Although who knows, it could have been like this for a while and I just didn't know. So this is what it said. Based on your post, you sound like Gary Vaynerchuk. Your focus on social media strategies, AI, and motivational tips mirrors his energetic, practical style. Your friendly tone and live stream invites align with his engaging approach, though your vibe is a bit softer and community driven. Yeah, definitely a little bit. I don't do the F-bombs like he does. But I was so wowed by that because years ago, I used to tell people, I said, I'm kind of like the female version of Gary Vaynerchuk. Like I am so much like him in so many ways with the way I'm like being a constant learner. Like the way I do things is so much like him. And I have to say, I don't know if very many people know this. Gary Vaynerchuk does not follow very many people on Twitter or on X. And let me pull up his account. So years ago, he followed me back. And I was like, what? So as of right now in 2025, he has 3 million followers just on X. He has millions of followers on all of his social media. But X was always, back in the old school Twitter, Twitter was his thing. He was known being, a marketing expert, big time book author, also known as being a wine expert, all these things he's done. I mean, he's such a big deal now. Now, back in the day, he had about 1 million followers and he only followed back. It was a really small number and he followed me back. And I was like, what? How is this? These days with his 3 million followers just on X, he follows back 22,000. Well, I had the opportunity to meet him in person. I was my first year speaking at Social Media Marketing World was in 2016, and he was the keynote speaker for that. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get to meet, I'm definitely going to meet him for sure. So I thought I'd probably get to meet him with one of the little speaker of it. They do have some events just for the speakers. I thought, oh my God, I can't wait to meet him. But he wasn't at any of those things. So I went and saw him do his keynote. And then they had a line for people that wanted to meet him afterwards, and a lot of people like had his books to sign or different things. So I waited in line with everybody, and I have my badge, Social Media Marketing World, and it says speaker on it because I'm one of the speakers. So I'm trying to think, like, what am I going to say to him? I mean, he follows me back on Twitter, but I seriously doubt he knows who I am. So I'll never forget this. I walk up to him. And I don't know what to do. So I hold up my speaker badge because it has my name real big and it says speaker. Hold my badge. It says, "Hi, I'm Madalyn Sklar. I'm one of the speakers here." And he goes, "I know who you are." And I was like, my jaw probably just dropped. I was like, I couldn't believe, like, he knew exactly who I was. And so we chatted for a few minutes, and this was back when Snapchat was really getting big, and he was all over Snapchat, and a lot of people were using it. And so we did a quick little Snapchat together, me holding my phone on Snapchat, and we made a cute, I need to go find it. I'm sure I have it somewhere. We made a cute little video together, and it was such a great experience, like getting to meet him in person and him knowing who I was, which I just was shocked. But it's just funny, like, to have Grok tell me about myself, very brief about who I am, and referencing Gary Vaynerchuk. So I don't know. I was just like, wow, that was just like a really wow moment. But let me show you a couple more things with this. And I definitely want everybody here to try this because I think this is just super interesting, just to find out, like, what does it say about you? Because another thing you can all do is go into ChatGPT or go to the other AI tools and just say, who is Madalyn Sklar? Who is, and put your name. Now I have a long history with digital marketing and social media. There's so much content about me. So of course, when I do that, there's lots. Not everybody's going to have that, but still, it's interesting to see what kind of information does it have about you. Just to see, but you can also do it for other people and see, like, what kind of things it says. But when I did this post yesterday, it did spark some interest from some of other members of our community. So my friend Matthew, who we haven't seen him here in the live streams, but he used to be more active back with the Twitter Smarter chat. And then even when we kind of realigned it, Learn with Madalyn, our Thursday, what we're doing right now. But I haven't seen him since we started doing the live stream, probably just too busy. But he tried it yesterday, and he says his Benjamin Franklin. That was kind of cool. So, but I like the way Grok is writing these out, and is very brief and to the point. And I think that's pretty cool. I think, everybody should try this prompt just to see, like, what, like, I mean, does this pique y'all's interest where y'all are like, man, I need to go try this prompt just to see, like, what Grok thinks about me? What are y'all's thoughts on that?
Yeah, I thought I saw your post about Vanderchuck, yesterday, and I said, "Wow, that's cool," because I have asked, who am I, and and it was cool to find out, or at the family dinner table, we all asked Google, "Who am I?" To see who Google knew.
Right.
I
Well,
found just,
I put the prompt on the screen here, so if anybody wants to try it, you could go to my X account because it's down a little ways in the feed, but not too far down. You could find my post from yesterday. But I have it right here. Jot this down for anybody that wants to try this at Grok. I mean, this is specifically to do on X, or if you have the Grok app. I don't have the Grok app. I'm just using it through X whenever I do it. Dr. J says she's putting it in right now. I'm just eager to see, like how this works for everybody and what y'all think. And do you think it's accurate or not accurate? But just put hey at Grok, or word it however you want. But you want the at Grok somewhere in there. Based on my post, which public figure, past or present, do I sound like? But also you can just reword it to other things too. I'll probably try some variations just to see, like, what else it comes up with me. But I felt like that was really accurate. But then because I'm me, I had to take it a step further. So because I got this reply yesterday from Enthusiastic Techie, said, "Wow, I used that prompt over in ChatGPT and it was shocking what it showed me. I sounded like," and this got that emoji. And I just like, oh, yes, I need to go do that. I need to go put this into ChatGPT. So that's what I did next. let me grab the ChatGPT so y'all can see because ChatGPT really, like, it was much longer, more expanded, and it was really cool. So let me bring this up. I know if anybody here is watching on their phone, it's going to be pretty small, so I'll kind of read through this a bit. So in ChatGPT, I did the same thing, but no at Grok. I said, based on my post, which public figure, past or present, do I sound like? And ChatGPT starts off, oh, I love this kind of question. See, I already like that. I'm like, oh, because I have a great relationship with ChatGPT. I talk to it all the time. We have a great relationship. And I like how personable this starts off. Based on your posts and how you show up online, empowering others, building community, leading with heart, being tech savvy but approachable, advocating for misunderstood topics, in parentheses, like Kratom, I love that, and educating people on AI and social media without overwhelm. You give strong Marie Forleo meets Brene Brown vibes with a sprinkle of Gary V's hustle, but in your own calm, steady, nurturing way. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a really great way of putting it. I think those three combined the way ChatGPT wrote it is perfect. And then it breaks down, I guess with Marie, Benet, and Gary, like, aligning me with that. And then it ends with it. It's like, do you want me to create a fun, which public figure are you most like quiz based on your personality for your audience? Which I thought was, wow, that's really cool. But I stopped it there. I thought this was a really fun exercise, and I would love for everybody to try this out. So let me put the prompt back up again. And I see Bez made it over, so hopefully he'll be back in a moment. So are y'all eager to try this now just to kind of see like what kind of response you get from it?
I just did it on Grok for Rachel in the OC, which is my personal author account. And it says I'm a combination of Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, and who is the other one? Chrissy Teigen. I don't even think she's on X anymore at all. So I just thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's cool. That's very cool. Okay, well, I think that's everybody's assignment is to give that a try and see, just out of curiosity, what it has to say. And I would try Grok, I would try ChatGPT or any of the other AI tools. I just find stuff like this really fascinating. And so kudos goes out to my friend Janet Machuca, who started this whole thing. She led me down this really fun rabbit hole just by me randomly seeing her post yesterday. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I got to try that too. But I loved how I replied to her post as I showed y'all, and Grok just jumped right on in and started answering it. So I'm like, AI is pretty darn cool. That's what I got to say about that. So I'll be sure to also put that prompt up in when I have the YouTube after this live stream. I always go back and put in the timestamps and the links to everything we talked about. I'll be sure to also put that prompt in there for anybody that missed that. Dr. J says, Grok was factual, but chat said I'd be Maya Angelou and Phoebe Waller-Bridge if Fleabag had a PhD. Wow. I think I really like my ChatGPT version a lot. Grok was like short to the point, but I thought the ChatGPT one was really cool. So, yeah. Hey, Bez, how are you? I'm glad you were able to join us.
I'm doing good, and I'm sorry you came to a chair.
That's okay. I saw you made it here, and I didn't want to forget about you, so I just popped you up. I knew you'd be back.
Well, thank you.
Did you see what we were talking about with Grok and this prompt that I'd come across? It was really cool.
I didn't catch the prompt, but I was seeing the results, so I'll have to look at the replay. It sounded interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I know it's not always easy for you to get here, and this is during your lunch break, but yeah, let me pop it back up on the screen real quick. Definitely check this out, and for anybody that arrived late, be sure you can always just go over to my X feed and see it. But basically, the prompt is, hey at Grok, and you just do this right in X. Hey at Grok, based on my post, which public figure, past or present, do I sound like? This was really cool. We had a lot of fun talking about it. So we definitely need to move on, but I definitely encourage everybody to give that a try, because it's just more of the cool factor with that. And I think it's just super fun and interesting.
I did a version of that, but what I did is on my phone, I didn't even put a prompt. I just hit the Grok button, and it gave a analysis of my profile and what um I think I even put it on. It said do I have time to read it or no? Are you going on? I don't
I-
want to.
Is it short?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
short.
real quick,
Okay.
and then we'll
So
move
let me
on.
find it. But it was sort of funny because I was like, why did it say that? Then I go, I made a comment. So um, it said,
Oh, Larry,
um,
that's a good one. ChatGPT's told Larry Marie Forleo meets Tim Ferriss with a DIY twist. I like that.
so that's awesome. So it, I don't think, okay. So it said, here's what I can say. It says, Bez, a passionate career guru with a knack for spotting workplace trends, believes kindness trumps all in the employer dance and isn't afraid to call out cruelty from the White House to the Broncos. Bez has been rallying artists and entrepreneurs for mastermind roundtables while geeking out over Ginger's health perks, something like that. Anyways, it went on, and but anyways, I get a little different on X because of the other side of my life, and which is more on the politics side. But I keep it professional, but I keep it accountable, right? But I do let my voice when I have the energy. I sometimes, but I try just to withhold because the energy is different on
Yeah.
X.
Right. Well, thanks for sharing that. And Larry, thanks for sharing yours in the comments. Yours was really cool. All right, next up, YouTube Shorts. YouTube is making some changes with Shorts. I'm going to play a little video that YouTube just put out a couple days ago talking about this. I'm not sure if any of y'all have heard about it yet.
What's up, insiders? Today, we're talking about a change coming to the way we count Shorts views on YouTube. First, some context. As short form video continues to grow on YouTube, we know that creators want a deeper level of understanding of how their short form videos are performing holistically, including when they're posting across multiple platforms. Historically on YouTube, a view has been counted after a short is played for a certain number of seconds. However, we've heard from creators that they want to understand how often their shorts are seen. So, going forward, views will count the number of times your short starts to play or replay with no minimum watch time requirement. We'll keep the existing shorts view metric, which will now be called engaged views, in YouTube Analytics in advanced mode, so you can see how many viewers chose to continue watching your video. So, what does this mean for you? From March 31st, 2025 onwards, you'll start to see the new Shorts views metric applied wherever Shorts views are shown on YouTube, which may be higher. This change will not directly impact creator earnings or how creators become eligible for the YouTube Partner Program. Both will be based on engaged views. The goal is that with this deeper understanding of your Shorts performance, it will help you inform your content strategy, better represent your work to potential brand or agency partners, and give you a fuller picture of your overall reach if you're posting on multiple platforms. Now let's cover a few questions you might have. First, how can I see views and engaged views in one place? You can see these in one place by setting your custom view in advanced mode. These metrics sit in different tabs in YouTube Studio and Analytics, both visible on Studio Mobile and Studio Web. Views can be located on the Shorts Overview tab, and engaged views can be found on the Shorts Engagement tab. Now, how should I compare performance between my Shorts uploads? There are two ways we recommend you compare performance between uploads. If you want to compare against Shorts published prior to March 31st, 2025, use engaged views for a fair comparison. You can see engaged views for a single short under the Engagement tab in Analytics. You can also access engaged views in advanced mode. Note that engaged views are available at a channel level to allow historical channel comparisons. For other content types like long form and live streams, views are equal to engaged views. For shorts uploaded on or after March 31st, 2025, you can use both regular views and engaged views in YT's advanced mode in Studio Web to see both shorts view metrics at the same time.
I'm going to stop here. So, I've been like watching some videos about this in the past few days, and this is like really interesting because I mentioned to y'all recently I've been doing an experiment with YouTube Shorts on one of my YouTube accounts, and it's doing really well. I'm not getting a gazillion views. It's kind of like TikTok. It's kind of hit or miss. Some videos do really, really well, some not as much, but it's drawing traffic to this YouTube channel. It's not this YouTube channel I'm on right now, my Madalyn Sklar. It's my other one for my Kratom Stories podcast. Has nothing to do with all my Madalyn Sklar stuff. But I normally do a live stream, a very long form live stream there once a week. And I have a podcast on there. But I've been experimenting with this whole short strategy. So I talked about, if anybody wants to see the replay, I talked about it a few weeks ago. It was really interesting what I've been doing. But I've been finding, according to my stats, reading the analytics, these shorts and all I'm doing is repurposing TikTok videos. I'm taking my TikTok videos and repurposing them over as YouTube shorts. And it's drawing more attention to my content and getting more subscribers. And it's been great. Not huge numbers, but like worth my time to do all this. So I hear this new thing this week about YouTube shorts, and I'm like, and it's really hard to decipher that lady, the way she I'm going to play a video where I think it's a little bit easier to understand. I wanted to start because that's from the YouTube creator YouTube account for YouTube creators, but it's just very stuffy. But basically, bottom line is, normally your YouTube shorts, they don't tell us how many seconds before it counts as a view, but after however many seconds, I'm thinking it's probably 3 seconds, maybe 5 max, then it counts as, so if somebody is just scrolling through, and we know lots of people, they scroll, and they're technically seeing your shorts for 1 second, maybe 2, they don't seem to count it that way. TikTok does. TikTok counts everything. So it sounds to me like what YouTube wants to do is copy TikTok. Well, we're going to count all those starting March 31st, which will be Monday. But the engaged views are like still the most important thing. And after so many seconds, which they still don't tell us how many seconds it actually is. We know with a regular YouTube video I believe it's still 30 seconds before it counts as a view. Is that still right, Larry? I know you're really up on YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
That's still correct.
And one of the things, just to interrupt here, just so I can get my thought out. One of the things that I thought what they should just add, which they do for videos, I was just looking at my stats, is impressions, right? So you get impressions, how many times your video was seen for your long form. So I don't know why they're making this engaged views versus views. Just making impressions so we know,
Right.
okay, it was seen in the feed, but not long enough for it to be a view.
Right. I think the lady complicates it, and it's still hard to decipher what she's talking about. So, recently we watched a really fun video from the guy at vidIQ, and he explains things very well. So they just posted a video about it that really explains it better. It just came out this morning. So let me play this. It's 6 minutes long, but it's worth watching because he fully explains this whole thing that YouTube is doing that's going to be effective starting on Monday. And I have to say, for anybody watching this, whether you're here live, you're watching the replay, or you're part of our panelist group, YouTube is a great strategy to have. I didn't always have a very consistent strategy, but we always have to remember YouTube is a search engine. Things live on here on YouTube. It is the #2 search engine in the world. We know Google's #1, and Google owns YouTube, so it's no surprise it's #2 search engine. But you can post a video that people will find years later. That's why I had to take all my Twitter videos down. I have so many old how to use Twitter videos that people were finding them, even though they were super old, and mad in the comments. It's not like this anymore. Like, they were just saying stupid things. It's like, I need to just remove these. It's not even worth it because it's so outdated. But your evergreen content lives on, so people can discover them years from now. So it's still good to have some kind of YouTube strategy. But I want to play the video from vidIQ because this guy really fully explains this whole new thing, and it's good to know. It's good to know like how they calculate views, how they do the analytics. So let me play this for y'all, and then we'll talk about it. I love this guy too. He's a lot of fun to watch.
I promise you, this video is not clickbait. YouTube is literally guaranteeing you more views. But are they clickbait views?
Historically, on YouTube, a view has been counted after a short was played for a certain number of seconds. However, we've heard that you want to understand how often your shorts are seen, which is why we're making this update.
Have we been asking for this update? Shorts views have always seemed pretty straightforward to me.
So, beginning on the 31st of March, Shorts views will count the number of times your short starts to play or replay with no minimum watch time requirement.
All right then, there is a lot to unpack there, and I have been racking my brain on how to explain this as simply as possible. So here's my best shot, and if it does make sense, then make sure to give me a thumbs up. It's all to do with this analytic that measures the number of times a short was viewed. That's a bit about watching a short for a certain number of seconds versus those that didn't and very quickly swiped away from the short. Now, let's say this short was viewed 7,200 times, but 2,800 people swiped away because they weren't interested. The way it works now is that you would simply get 7,200 views from that YouTube short. And if you combine these numbers together, you get a nice round number of 10,000, let's say, impressions on the short. And that's a figure that's going to change. Instead of 10,000 impressions, you simply get 10,000 views. So what does all of this mean in the real YouTube world? Well, let me give you a demonstration. As I understand it, all of these shorts that I'm just swiping through very quickly and paying no attention to because I have no interest in them, and to be honest, I'm just doing this for fun, all of these shorts from March the 31st are going to get a view. All right, there you go. Views for everybody. What fun this is going to be. Chucky, who's a YouTube analytics guru for Mr. Beast, reckons this will increase shorts views by a minimum of 30%. So that means, in theory, 30% more views here and also here. And for channels that only make shorts, here as well. And it'll also be reflected in our brand new scorecard that tracks all of the critical historical data of a YouTube short. It is completely free when you download our browser extension, which is linked in the description below. And this is going to feel like a big change for creators because it only applies on shorts going forward from the 31st of March. None of the shorts views historically will change to this new method of counting views. And on top of this, shorts that loop over and over again will count for a view every time it loops over. But what about this original method of counting shorts views? Is it simply going away? Well, no. It's still going to be available through advanced analytics under a new term called engaged views. Yes, engaged views. They are still really, really important. And we'll get back to why in a second. Because first of all, we need to all start celebrating, right? YouTube has just gifted every single creator who makes YouTube Shorts more views. Overnight, creators are going to be performing an estimated 30% better than what they were yesterday, if they don't understand what these changes mean. Because here's the truth, at least from my point of view. The reality hasn't changed at all, but the perception has. These 10,000 engagements on a YouTube short are still the same. They've just been combined to produce what appears to be a more favorable number. But I hear you argue, surely more views means more positive signals to the YouTube algorithm. Well, that doesn't seem to be the case. When asked about how metrics such as average view duration might be affected, Renee, the YouTube creator liaison, who does an amazing job, by the way, did confirm that stuff like this will still be measured against engaged views. Now, maybe I'm oversimplifying things, but doesn't that basically mean that the only thing that's changing is this number, and that absolutely every other number is going to stay exactly the same? In this instance, mean more likes, more comments, more subscribers, more watch time. And that just sounds a little bit daft, doesn't it? Ultimately, what this sounds like to me, from a creator's perspective, is that YouTube has just created a placebo effect. You and every single other YouTube Shorts creator is going to get more views, but it doesn't change a damn thing. But maybe we need to look at all of this from an external perspective. Viewers will think your shorts are getting more views. Sponsors will think you're getting more views. And compared to other platforms such as TikTok and Instagram, shorts will be seen as a place where your content can get more views. That would be a weird kind of views flex, but okay, yeah, maybe I'm just getting scrambled up with conspiracy theories that I'm inventing out of thin air. We need to get back to the topic in hand, because we haven't yet talked about perhaps the most important thing when it comes to a change in YouTube Shorts views.
What about YouTube partner program eligibility or payouts?
Yep, there's going to be no change to YPP eligibility and no change to how payouts are calculated. We're going to rely on an engaged view metric for that.
Oh. Wait. What? Imagine for a moment that you're checking your analytics and you see that you've hit 10 million shorts views. That should be enough to start earning ad revenue. Except it isn't, because you actually only have 8 million engaged views, which you can only access through advanced analytics. Now, of course, there is always the earn screen, which should tell a creator exactly where they are for monetization requirements. But now, strictly speaking, only engaged views count towards these shorts monetization requirements. And that needs to be communicated to creators very clearly.
And it feels like for the past almost 6 minutes, I've been trying to educate you all on what is an engaged view, with limited success probably. But maybe the bigger question is, why am I trying to educate you on engaged views? Please, somebody in the comments, let me know if you've been asking for this change to YouTube Shorts views, because it just seems as if it's come out of nowhere. And when we talk about the importance of a view, I'll go back to my earlier demonstration. Doesn't this simply devalue them?
Yep. Man, isn't that wild? What do y'all think? Like that video just came out this morning from vidIQ, and because as I showed y'all before, the YouTube video, I was like, it was so brief and like she explained it, but I still had questions, and I felt like this guy just answered a lot of questions. So what do y'all think of that?
I think LinkedIn just recently announced the same thing. They're going to do native video, and it's if you scroll by it, it counts. It doesn't, it's just like this one. They're trying to do that video feed, the vertical, and they don't have to stay on it. They can keep scrolling by. So it seems like the same thing that they're doing. Yeah.
Like TikTok, because TikTok does that. So I don't know. Larry, what are your thoughts?
It's a vanity metric.
Yeah.
That's all they're giving you is a vanity metric saying, hey, you got, 10,000 views instead of 7,200 views. But where it counts in the wallet, if you want to count the pennies that you get, there's no difference. So it's just a vanity metric to me.
Yeah, I agree. Do any of our other panelists, y'all use YouTube, specifically Shorts, and have any thoughts on this? I know not everybody does Shorts. Well, what's interesting is I had to comment on this because he was asking for people to comment. This video came out a few hours ago. There's 426 comments already. And my comment's still here at the top. I put, it seems YouTube wants to boost perception of higher view counts when in reality it means nothing. Why would they do this? I mean, that's my question. Why? They said people were asking for it. And I loved how he said, put in the comments, were you asking for this? I certainly wasn't asking for this. I wanted to know who are the engaged. That's all that really matters. That's all that you can, if your account's monetized, that's all that matters. So,
but there's people that they want to see something. Like years ago, I ran across someone who was selling soap, industrial soap, to car washes, and it didn't sud, right? And so the owner said, I know your stuff is working, but can you make it sudsy so people can see and they can feel like their car's actually being cleaned? All they wanted to see was the suds. They didn't, that to them meant something. So people are really tied into that dopamine hit that this means something, when in reality it doesn't. Like you said, Larry said, this is a vanity metrics.
Yeah.
A lot of this is vanity.
Yeah, it sure seems that way. So it'll be interesting to see what people think once this starts on Monday. I think they shouldn't do it, but it sounds like it's going to happen. I don't know. Maybe there'll be enough people that complain, and then they'll, sometimes these platforms, they hear the negative response from the people that use it, and then they change their mind and don't end up doing the new feature. So we'll see. But speaking of YouTube, there's something else, something that they're testing. So how this is from an article Social Media Today put out, but I want you to specifically see the screenshot here. So how when you're watching a YouTube, the last 10 seconds, it's optional. You as the creator can do this. I don't, because I hate this. I hate being on somebody's YouTube, and if those last 10 seconds, you can't see them anymore because this pops up, the thing where they can show their other content and, click here to go to the next. the best way to do that is if you reserve those last 10 seconds to say that and move yourself out of the way and just, or something where, because many times videos will just go all the way until it completely ends, but those last 10 seconds are cut off because you can't see the person anymore. Sometimes there's text on the screen, and I just think some people just don't think about what they're actually doing. So there's this new thing that YouTube wants to do where give you an option. They haven't. They're testing it. They're basically right now they're testing it. Let me pull. There's a brief video about it because I wanted y'all to see that first so you knew what I was talking about. But I'm excited that they're testing this. I had replied to the YouTube post saying I would like to test this, but I hope this is something that they end up doing because I would love to have a feature like this, but they explain it better in the video. So let me just cue it up real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. It's short. I just wanted y'all to see this.
Next, the team is testing the ability for users to hide end screens with the goal of reducing clutter and creating a cleaner player experience for the viewer. Users in the experiment can tap a hide button in the top right corner of the player when end screens appear. If a user taps the button, all end screen cards will be hidden for that video only, and a show button will appear. Tapping that show button will make the end screens reappear. We don't expect this to impact views, but we'll keep the audience posted if we expand this experiment to more users.
I never understood why didn't they already have it like that to begin with? When it, like, again, you as the creator, it's not defaulted to do that end screen. If you something you want, you can go and add it, and you can customize it. There's all the stuff you can do. But most people don't know what they're doing, and I think they just turn it on and just don't realize how poor of an experience it is for the viewer in those last 10 seconds. And so I love that YouTube wants to test this, but it should have been a add-on all this time, whereas a little button that says hide, because I would love to hide that so I can still see those last 10 seconds of the video. So do y'all have any thoughts on this? Is it just me that would love this feature? I've never understood why they didn't do it to begin with, but at least they're going to test it. So what do y'all think?
I think it's a good idea because as a viewer, it is super annoying. You're like, I want to see the credits or whatever if you're watching like a video or something, and it's like you can't even see all that, and then it pops into whatever the next ad is unless you're ad free, so you also don't see it for that reason. So I think that's great. I love the idea.
Yeah, I mean, they're just going to test it, but I hope it's something they roll out. Yes, Larry.
As a creator and as YouTube, they want you to stay on the platform more and more, right? So, and as a creator, you want people to go to the next video. And so for my end screens, it's a cue for people to say, hey, if you enjoyed this video all the way to the end, and my videos are starting to get longer and longer. So if you make it to the end to watch the end screen, I want you to go watch another video because it's referencing, or it should be referencing, something related to what you've just watched. And I'm surprised because it's always been, hey, this is, part of the YouTube creator thing is the last 20 seconds of your video, you want people to click on the next video. So, and as YouTube has said, that's what you want to do. So I'm surprised they're saying, hey, we're going to have this hide button now so people can just, leave.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I like your perspective on that. Anybody else have any thoughts on that? Real quick. Okay. So Jim, while we were watching that, Jim had posted in the comments going back to the whole YouTube shorts. He says that they focus more on non-shorts videos than the shorts, but he also said they started going live on Substack, which I'm seeing more and more people doing. Like Substack Live is becoming a big thing, especially with journalists. I'm seeing a lot of journalists turning to that. And he says it's a great way to build community and be able to connect with them. I agree. My only thing is that they're not I don't know. Not everybody, like, I don't want to get on the Substack app. I just want, I just wait when I see the email that like, oh, somebody's going live, but then I can't easily go find replays. I know that Rachel, you use Substack. Is it easy for, like, do I have to go on the app or the website and easily find replays of past ones?
I don't do that much with video, and I don't really watch video, so I'm not sure. I think if you find the person that you want, that you're looking for, like, I follow Mary Trump, who hates her uncle. No politics, but the point is, she goes live, and I'll get a notification that when I'm on Substack that so and so is live right now. Click here to join. So. But you do have the option when you go in to create your content. They'll say, do you want to create a text post, a video? Do you want to start a live video? Do you want to start a note, which is like their social media? So from a creator perspective, it's super easy to start. But how you find them, I'm not really sure.
See, I like YouTube because it's so easy to go find replays. Like right now, we're live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and X, on all of mine, plus some of you that are our panelists here, which I appreciate y'all doing. And I find that the best one for it to live on for replays is YouTube. Anybody can just, if somebody says, oh, Madalyn was talking about this thing she says she mentioned in her live stream a few weeks ago, just know you can easily go to my YouTube, find it easily, and go watch it. And it's time-stamped. It has links to everything we discussed, even though it was from the past. It's harder to go find it on X. You have to go through my feed. I never understood why X never made it easy for replays. They've never made it easy for repurposed content to be seen, which drives me crazy. And then on Facebook, same thing with Facebook. Facebook's not easy. I mean, who thinks to go to the photos and video section to see like pets? People don't think, oh, let me click on this video tab on somebody's profile to go find past videos. So I don't know, but I think YouTube is the easiest. Jim says we're going live with StreamYard and Ecamm. Yeah, Jim, we got to definitely get you on the conversation here because, we've been talking about StreamYard versus others. And I am probably need to go start playing around with Ecamm because I'll probably switch I'm on the annual plan at StreamYard and I just don't feel like paying double the cost. We had quite the conversation about it recently. And Barb, do you have anything to report on the latest with StreamYard with what you've been going through? I know you had mentioned you've been having all kinds of issues.
It's not over yet, and it is the worst support I have ever had in my life on that platform. I definitely, join Madalyn's school community.
Join us on school. Join us on school. School.com/Madalyn Sklar, SKOOL. Be sure to join us there because that's where we continue the discussions. And yeah, definitely keep us posted about that, Barb, because many of us do not want to renew StreamYard. The customer service, ever since it got bought out, the customer service is terrible. I've had more problems. I've been with them for 5 years. I've had more problems since last year when they got bought out by this new group, and the customer service is terrible. They run a Facebook group for the community where we can connect and talk to them and fellow StreamYard users, and they moderate the post to the point that not every time, but most times, whatever you post with your question, they won't even approve the post in Facebook for a day, sometimes longer. And you can't run a community like that.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad you brought that up because I also belong to a group that, where Facebook has tagged you to participate directly with their personnel and that deal about having our posts on approval, the issue because that is the way it is in StreamYard. It's also that way in some other live streaming groups that all of us are in together. And it's really funny what happened about me posting it. I think I'll share that with you in your school community, the outcome of my test, because ironically, I talk about it, the point system, gamification, the badges, but I couldn't believe it. And I had, people responding all over the world. It's the highest post engagement I've had in that group. And they didn't even realize that I was saying that I found it increased engagement, right? That was my comment. And there were so many of them against it, but everyone gave feedback. And what you said right there, in building, because Madalyn and I are all about community. People don't really realize what building community is for the most part.
Yeah.
It's like gathering people in groups. So you're right on, Madalyn. But I also contacted other developers, product developers. There's a product developer on Facebook who's just blowing everybody out of the water. He's got all 60,000 members. It's extremely active, so forth and so on. And then we get back to StreamYard and we have this experience. And there's a couple of other live streaming groups. And the thing that was so magical was customer service. That really, they listened to their customers. That's why we were all attracted to them.
Yep.
And they communicated with their customers. And guess what? That's part of community building. It's, that whole thing. So join us in her community. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, because we'll keep discussing it. And, Ecamm is Apple only. You got to be on a Mac, and I am on a Mac. And to me, Ecamm has been the closest thing to StreamYard, I think. And no, school does not have a live stream feature. I know that's something people have asked for. It'd be great if they incorporated live streaming. That's yet to be seen. But Larry, you had mentioned in our private chat about, tell us about this EV Mux. I've never heard of it. And you mentioned that you're trying this.
Yeah, so I heard it mentioned, I think Barb mentioned it.
It sounds familiar. Somebody did mention it, yeah.
And I said, all right, let me go check it out. So I signed up for a free account and I went through some of the tutorials. I'm brand new to it, but it seems very similar to how StreamYard does things. And I joined their Facebook group yesterday or today, and I'm just exploring it right now. But it seems very similar to what StreamYard offers.
Yeah.
Oh, and they have a free one.
Their team is showing up in that group.
So this is the one, Barb, that you were talking about? Is this one?
That's the alternative that the majority of us have gone to. I actually, we can talk about it in your group. I don't want to go through that now, but
yeah,
that one is the closest to what we experienced and kept us so loyal to one vendor for over 5 years. So that's real important, is customer service. And I'm doing a deep dive in that customer service story now.
Well, what I loved about StreamYard is before they were bought out, those two young guys that created it, every Sunday evening, they did a live stream, a community live stream where all these people came in and they would talk about what's new, what are they working on. Put in your questions. We'll answer your questions. Tell us what features you want. I love that. I couldn't make it live, but I would always watch the replay every Monday morning because I love that they did that. And even though I'd been with them for years, it's like, this is how you can be a company, a business, and do community right. And then I was always able to stay up on all the latest features. It's incredibly frustrating that the new company is trying to do stuff, but they're doing such a poor job of it. But Jim says, especially for people that are PC users, that you can't use Ecamm, you got OneStream, Live, Emux, Riverside. I've looked at Riverside. BeLive is still around. BeLive was where I was at for years before. I did not move to StreamYard for quite a while. Like all my friends were like, StreamYard's the best. But I was very loyal to BeLive. I loved it. And I liked Ecamm, but I liked how BeLive was simple, and of course StreamYard is too, because not so much for me, but for my guests.
Right.
Some of these platforms, Ecamm, is not the easiest one to learn, and it's not always easiest for your guests. But BeLive was super simple. Then I finally switched to StreamYard, so I've been there the last 5 years. With my other stuff I do, these are non-techie people. I need it to be super simple and easy. Here's a link. Come join me. Like most people have done a Zoom link by now, so they understand Zoom. So it's just like Zoom. But when it gets to be more complicated, it is hard to get people to come participate.
Yeah. Ecamm now has Zoom integrated with them. So
I heard
your guests, it's now like they're just attending a Zoom. For them, it's
I like
super
that.
simple.
Yeah. Jim agrees. It's about making it easy for the guests. So it's been years. Like I have not played around with Ecamm since I was looking at it before I switched to StreamYard when I was using BeLive, and I just went with StreamYard instead. But that was 5 years ago, so I'm going to look at it again because I always did like how Ecamm has a lot of bells and whistles. Plus, for those of us old school podcasters, I'm talking old school. I started podcasting in 2013. The only way you could do it properly was you used Skype. Who remembers this? Skype with Ecamm call recorder. Y'all remember that? I mean, looking back, I mean, that was the best to do. That was the best way we could do for in the times we were in. But looking back, that would not be the way you do it now. Skype over Ecamm call recorder. But it was amazing back then. And it's like
That was
times have
painful.
changed. It was great at the time though, but looking back, I mean, it's just like us old school podcasters cringe when people say, I do my podcast on Zoom. I'm like, Zoom? Like, that's not good audio quality.
Back in my day.
Yeah, back in our day, we did on Skype. And all the times it would drop but Ecamm had that great technology, so it would do the local copy on people's computers like what StreamYard and all the others do these days with live streaming. Yeah, times have changed, that's for sure. Dr. J, thank you for joining. I'm so glad you joined our stream today. Always great. Yeah, I still have more stuff. Let me just do a quick zoom because there are a few things. I know we're already over time and I'm really pressed for time, but we'll just do these real quick so everybody's aware of some new things without going into super details. I already covered like the detail stuff I wanted to cover anyway, so this is just more like FYI. So first off, I first found out about Omari Smith, but I want to start with this because there's more information on this post, and then I'll show Maury's post. So there's a new Instagram feature for those of you that use Instagram. There's a repost can now appear in your feed. It says Instagram is slowly rolling out a new option that lets you repost other people's posts in Reels straight to your followers' main feed. Before, you could only share someone else's content to stories. So if you wanted to repost, you always had to use a third-party tool, right? Remember all those apps for doing all that. They're finally integrating this because otherwise, doing it natively in the app, you can only do it as a story. So I don't have this yet, but it says now when you tap the repost icon under a post or a reel, you can add your own text and it'll show up to your followers' feed like a regular post. So let me show you the post Maury Smith did because her screenshot's bigger. I just wanted to read off that part because that part explained it really well. But Maury Smith has Maury Smith's Social Scoop that Barb and I are both in. So she posted this the other day about the repost, but she's got a nice big screenshot here. So yeah, for those of you that use Instagram, I think this is great that they're offering this, but it's being rolled out. So not everybody has it yet. So that's the only thing. Also, next up, let's see how quickly we can get these. So apparently Twitter, well, X, I don't know why, this is a thread, but somebody said Twitter, now allows iOS users to react with video to a post. So I haven't seen this yet. It's just something that I just found out about today, but it sounds to me like it's similar to TikTok, how you can take somebody's comment and reply with a video. It sounds like that's what this is. Like, you can, because it says react with video. So you're seeing something, you hit react with video, and then it brings that up, and then you record your own video over it, I guess. I don't know. I need to see it in the wild to fully understand what exactly, but I think that's pretty interesting. I'll keep y'all posted. And then real quick, we'll end this with the whole new ChatGPT 4.0 image generation. I haven't done much with it yet, but it's new. It's been the big buzz over the last few days. So if you didn't hear about this, you can always go to OpenAI's X account. But it says 4.0 image generation has arrived. It's beginning to roll out today. So this was on the 25th. So that was Tuesday. It's rolling out in ChatGPT and Sora to all Plus, Pro, Team, and free users. So this is for everybody. You may not have it yet. I haven't tried it yet, so I don't know. But one of the issues that we always have with ChatGPT when it's doing image generation is that the text is always messed up. is never good, right? I'm sure some of y'all know what I'm talking about. It misspells things. It looks funky. Well, my understanding is that now it's going to be very readable. And just by looking at this, you can see this is super readable. So, has anybody here, Larry, have you been playing with this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I saw Mike Stelzner post something about it, I think yesterday or the day before on Facebook, and I was like, wow, because I was in ChatGPT looking to create thumbnail examples for YouTube. And I was like, well, I'm getting the same stuff, very cartoonish, very, the classic ChatGPT DALL-E type of images. And I was like, no, that's not going to work. No, that's not going to work. And I happened to see his post, and he shared the prompt that he used. So I used the prompt, and I was impressed that it came back. He used a prompt, show me a marketer doing something and something like that. So I modified that post a little bit, and it came back with a realistic looking image of a gentleman with a goatee and glasses, not me, but pseudo me. And I was impressed, and I want to do some more testing. I want to do stuff like what was shared in Twitter/X, because I mean, email is always MAIAL, and and all the misspellings and everything is just crazy. So if we could get something that's more like Midjourney, because
Right.
I try to want to use one tool. But I've just created one image, and I'm impressed.
Oh, that's cool, because I haven't had time yet to even try one. I plan to. I'm going to play a short little YouTube short talking about it as well, and then we'll wrap up with that. So hopefully this will answer any questions people have.
OpenAI just made a huge mistake releasing this ChatGPT update because this may be the best text to image generator. Now, ChatGPT used to make images like this and this, but now they're doing images like this just by you putting a text in. I mean, look how realistic this looks. This prompt said for a person to write on a whiteboard, you can even read the words, and with AI, that is impossible. Shoot, I even tried it by creating a Lego version of Scarface. The fire part, it even does infographics. So all I put was make an infographic about the history of social media, and this is what it created. Now, this works inside of ChatGPT for all pro users, but if you're a plus user, let me show you a hack. If you log into your Sora account, you're going to now see images as part of an option. And where you put your text prompt, you're going to see two options, video and image. Now, it'll soon be available for all ChatGPT users, Pro, Plus, free. But for right now, let me know what you think about it.
So I don't know. Let me see when she posted. Maybe this is a little bit older, because it's my understanding it's available to everybody now. So it sounds like she posted this a day ago, but the thing I was just showing before says it was showing pretty much all users, but I haven't looked to see if I could see it yet. But when she showed that one with all that text on a whiteboard, ChatGPT normally cannot do an image with that clear text. So this is pretty exciting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing in my playground.
I love it. Well, if anybody plays around with any of these things we talked about today, be sure to report back next week. But yeah, we've gone way over our hour. It's always just interesting to chat about all these new things going on in social media and AI. Do y'all like this format? I mean, I really just been doing this as an experiment. I love doing this. I think it's just fun, just talking about the latest with all of these things.
I love it. But I know, when we connected on video first with Blab, and all of us were beta testers there.
Yeah.
It makes a big difference in conversation and in learning experiences as well. So I love the format.
Cool. I just feel like we can all learn from each other. I love hearing, any thoughts y'all have. And if it's not anything about, then hopefully you just walk away from this like just being a little bit more smarter today, because you learned all these cool things we talked about. So that's what I have for y'all today. Thank y'all for hanging out and being here. And thanks, Larry. I'm glad you like it. And for those that just came in recently, this is a live stream. We're wrapping up now, but we've done this for over an hour. So as soon as we stop, you can go back and watch the replay. We chat about all kinds of interesting things, especially the thing on Grok. That was super cool. And you can join my free online community at school.com/Madalyn Sklar. That's where we can continue the discussions beyond this 1 hour chat. So if you have not been on there, just go sign up and come hang out and be a part of the discussion. So anyway, that's it for today, y'all. We'll be back next Thursday. Mark your calendar. Every Thursday, 1:00 Eastern, we do this. So y'all have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you soon. Bye,
Goodbye.
everybody.
Goodbye.